Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a nice little and early Tuesday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. And finally, Bitcoin making some moves in the overnight hour, of course, while I'm sleeping. But I actually slept last night, so I'm feeling a lot better. And as always, want to be wishing you the best of the best, the happiest of the happiest Tuesday. Yes, I do believe it's a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Is that right? Anyways, with that said, let's do some magic internet money analysis right here, right now, as we teleportation into the live scene. And Bitcoin actually taking a direct leg up right after the, I guess this was after the stream last night. And in smashing to our first, the lower bound of our first target, right around this 57. I've been referring to this area as 5,700, but remember, it needs to be taken with an RSI, give or take a few bucks, and close enough is close enough with 5650 being stabbed almost to the dot, actually. What is it, 5650 and 1 cent? Not bad at all. Right here doing the charting on GDAX, and not only that, but we're going to be really starting to change around some of these, some of the daily outlook. As you do see this blue 377 exponential, we have closed a nice girthy green dildo above it on a little bit lackluster volume, but to be fair, we will have a chance to both open and close, more importantly, above it later today. So granted that Bitcoin does not dump back down below, what is this, about 53.30 by end of day, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we will have open and close a successful dildo right above this resistance, and to me, that is a sign of the times. So does that mean that, and I need to be very careful with the way that I relate these ideas, because I'm going to show some things later that say, hey, be cautious, but lower time frames. We got the move that we were looking for. Of course, this move took a long fucking time, and I just want to speak directly now to that sort of fact. And this is kind of what we were speaking on for the last, 2 to 3 weeks when this ascending triangle was formed. But essentially, because this triangle was really taking its time, we did kind of, judge the overall movement of it. Sorry, why does this not look right? Yeah, okay, that's because it's down around here. Oh, well, good enough is good enough. But overall, this triangle, was getting pretty damn full. I was saying that it becomes extremely likely to break right around the 24th. It is the 23rd today, so close enough is close enough. Again, the apex on this was coming in and in early May. Sorry, this is even wrong right here. Let's actually do it right there. Yeah, in early May, it was like May 1st, something like that. So to me, this is, again, there you go. Things take their time is my point. So when we're in this range right over here, yes, we were putting in a bullish formation. Yes, it was an ascending triangle. Yes, we can have all sorts of measure moves and all that kind of stuff. But when's the right time to take a position? Well, I would argue that yesterday, once we kind of got off the stream and we saw this 3-hour dildo close and above, that was your big signal essentially, because overall, this took a long time to actually formulate. So timing a trade incorporates and accounts for the opportunity cost of being in the trade, right? So if you were entering into this trade down around here, well, when we're going sideways for the next couple of weeks, it's not, it's not too healthy. My point is that if you are going to be trading these time frames, that is kind of what I was looking for. This is what we were talking about, looking at the volume on this, on this move right over here, pretty damn good. And that's exactly what we wanted to see on this move. So again, if you did take that move, hey, congratulations, not bad. I basically just was holding my long from down around here. Whoops, let's go on over there. All my alerts going off right now. But still holding this long from 39.30. So to talk about yesterday on live stream, I was holding 2 longs and 1 short. I let go of the long that we saw on the hunt yesterday, to 54. Then actually put on a little bit of a scalp short, which I took back off once we came back down and successfully retested this area right over here, right below, what was it? We ticked below like 5,300 for a second. And then after that, I went to sleep. And then it just so happened that Bitcoin carried onwards and upwards. So again, I was not actually awake for this move. I didn't get really a chance to put on a new position, but all good. That is why I've been holding that position from 39.30 because, well, overall, the higher time frames are signaling that we could have some more up. So when it comes down to it, Bitcoin taking a leg up towards our first target right around 50. I'm still going to refer to it as 5,700. I do think that there's a strong chance that Bitcoin reconsolidates in this area and tries again to kind of stab up in. And again, I'm going to refer to it as 5,700, but it's really a range from like 57 to 58ish. And in fact, I can show a few things that would suggest that 58 is a worthy target. Going over here to the 4-hour dildo time frame, we do see that if we're charting this on the 4-hour, I'd be looking at this ascending triangle as such right here, which would actually have a measure move a little bit higher. So that's kind of how I'm getting this range, and you can see if we just apply that right over there. Again, a very bad way of doing this is not the proper way. That would be hitting the top of our range. So I'm gonna put in a nice blue box territory right over there. This is the area where I start to get a little bit more apprehensive in, not because not because I think that Bitcoin's going to like immediately hit this area and then turn down and then do all that kind of stuff. But this is the area where I say, hey, if you're long from down around here, this is the time to really consider, well, it was a good move, right? It was a good move, and things are likely to take their time. So again, I would be a little bit more defensive in this range, as we've been seeing, and I'm going to show a lot of things in just a little bit that say, hey, this is the time to be cautious, not necessarily aggressive, especially if you're getting kind of caught up in the bull hoping, not the bull hoping, but the bull momentum right now, which is powerful. This is the time to be really taking profits. Although we can grind this area out, no doubt about that. My point is that area is kind of where I'm looking for as likely a top, a technical top. And this is what I kind of been synthesizing my statements down to, because so many people have been caught up in the discussion of, is the bottom in or not? Well, on this channel, we focus on trading. So realistically, a statement like that is kind of, it's fun to talk about. It's good mental masturbation, but it's not really relevant to being a good trader. You don't need the bottom to be in to be a good trader. You don't need the bottom to not in to be a good trader. A good trader is going to make money in all sorts of dynamic environments. That is what makes a good trader. It's really the long-term investors and then the moon or doom boys who need things, to be exactly perfect so that they can solve their own egoic issues with being quote unquote right in calling it, and again, that fucking word call. I hate that word call, and I hate it when I use it. And those very rarely matter. If you can't show a trade, that's I think that speaks for itself. So again, that's why I want to be fully transparent, showing exactly what I'm thinking about over here. And I took this trade at a time when I was actually bearish. I was actually bearish, looking for this to probably sell off back down to the prior lows. But again, I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis, and that's kind of the point right over there. Because if I were trading my opinion, I would have been wrong. If I'm trading my technical analysis, well, that's how I found out how to make a fucking living doing this. So again, that is where that whole discussion kind of comes into play. So I really want to focus and speak directly to the traders here, just because that is who this channel is focused on. That is what I'm most comfortable speaking on, because that's where I come from. And overall, Bitcoin, yes, I do believe probably does try to consolidate this area and probably try again higher, most likely. Then once we get to this next territory and put in a little bit of time, perhaps going sideways in this blue box territory, that's when I start to look at, okay, are we putting it at a top or not? Looking at the volume of this, looking at the volume signature of this rally, it is certainly falling off. We are, it looks to me like we do have a lot of selling going on in the 4-hour dildo time frame right now as well. A nice little wick on this dildo, but I do think that it probably does grind this area out a little bit more. That's the whole thing. The thing is that when we go through all of our time frames, actually all of our oscillators are getting, getting a little bit extended. Of course, not the lower time frames. This is your 4-hour dildo time frame right over here, nice and erect and up, and all time frames below a 4-hour are looking okay. Actually, 3 hours crossing down right now. What about 2 hours? 2 hours crossing down. Sorry, I take that back. Perhaps it's the medium time frames that are 8 hours down as well. Hey, what's going on here? 10 hours up. What about 12 hours? 12 hours got to be down. Interesting. Very interesting. So again, it's time to be cautious, in my opinion. Now, how long does this take to play out? Well, remember, when we were in this territory right over here, the move took quite literally almost 4 weeks to really take the next leg, which we're seeing right now. So again, if you are going to be trading right now, temper your expectations and understand that dynamic between opportunity cost of being in a trade and opportunity cost of kind of watching and waiting for it to unfold and then catching momentum, which of course, by definition, you're not going to catch the whole move if that happens, but you are going to make use of that opportunity cost, and that means that you could go trade elsewhere with something that actually is moving, which is what I've been doing with Forex recently. So with that said, let me just make sure, speaking of my Forexes, I want to make sure that I actually am recording right now, which is good. Yes, and my mic is working. Awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, all these, once we start to get to the higher time frames, that's where it starts to tell me, hey, be a little bit cautious in this territory. Starting off with the oscillators, we do have daily Stokes heading up to the upside. They do have room to roll, no doubt about that. But as you can see with the 12-hour, they are headed down in the more critical zone. 2-day actually headed up, but still, once again, in the critical zone. And this has been a warning signal. But here's the thing: I'm looking for something very specific for this to kind of signal that the downwards momentum is beginning. And I want to see these cross down and get back below the critical zone right over here, just like you saw right over here, just like you saw right over here, just like you saw right over here. That got the momentum, and of course right here from 20,000, your tops at 12,000, 10,000, 8,400, getting those nice moves. Do you need to catch the ultimate top to make a fucking, a nice trade? Fuck no, man. Those were like what, 30 to 40% trades, of which we might have another one on our hands relatively soon. So with that said, going over here, the 3-day Stokes getting way up there as well. Same sort of idea with this one. Each and every time that we've gotten in this more critical zone for the past, over a year, that has been major top. So again, I want to be, yes, it is still, I do still think that this one probably tries again higher, but, or maybe not even higher, but in the same range around that 57-ish area. And then, temper those expectations. We do see, our RSI oscillator actually making new highs on the 3-day. That is good. That is actually quite a powerful signal, and does make me think that we do try higher. 2-day, we are going to be likely creating divergence. as long as Bitcoin does not get above about 5,800, we're probably going to be creating some divergence. I know that it's a little bit too premature to say that, but my point is that because we got so high on the prior run, it's going to be very difficult to actually get higher than that on the next one. So by definition, you will create divergence. Same thing with the daily. As you do see, the daily got all the way up almost to a 90 marker, which is quite high. Now we are making waves once again, but assuming that we do put in any sort of a local top anywhere below essentially 90, then we will be battling some daily dildo divergence, which typically does have some pretty massive implications. Of course, with all that said, though, does that mean that I'm just shorting right here, right now? Fuck no. I mean, again, full disclosure, I am long, and I've been holding on for Jesus Christ ever since this area. This was 26th of March. What day is it now? Yeah, about a month. Jesus Christ, man. And that's basically what trading Bitcoin's been is, really not too many positions need to be taken. You will also notice that we do have a daily doodle golden cross on the way with the exponentials, but that's still about, I'd say maybe a week away. About a week away. However, the higher that Bitcoin gets here, the faster it'll happen, of course. But with that said, I'd say, within a week, most likely we'll get that cross. Now, here's the thing. With this cross kind of getting closer and closer, it does make me more and more apprehensive because usually when these crosses get extremely close, that is when the attacks can happen because the market movers, the people who actually move the market, know that everyone's looking at something like this. They're all talking about the golden cross on the simple moving averages, which we can bring up right now. Just bringing this up really briefly. And then we'll go over to the exponentials, but is what they're referring to right over here. Whoops, why? I don't need that one. Why was that one in there? I didn't even realize that. But yes, we actually do have officially a golden cross on the daily on the daily simples. Now here's the thing. I don't care about this, and this is actually a pretty bad cross. Price action is extremely far away from the crossing area. What I really want to see is price action like being pulled into it and then buoyed above the 50 simple, and then actually ideally to have like a 30. If I was trading the simples, I'd have a 30 and a 10 up as well, and then I'd be going off of those when guiding it up. As you can see right now, well, Bitcoin's very far away from even the 50, and if we were to put on the 10 would be somewhere right around 52, 50, which is okay. But my point is that when you have a price action very far away from a cross like this, that is when hunts and traps do emerge. We have a great example going back to 2014, 2015. I know everyone's talking about this. I'm not presenting any new information here. I will later, however. But we had a nice golden cross right over here. Price action very far away. Yes, it even does take another leg, or sorry. Well, yeah, it does take another leg after we get the cross right over here, but ultimately it gets distributed on. So when it comes down to it, that is what I really want to get out. Be very careful in this range, as we do see all of our oscillators starting to get a little bit more, extended, and yes, they can still get a little, they can still do more, no doubt about that, but it is a cautionary signal as we do approach a major resistance, basically the target of this move. So people are going to be selling just by the nature of that, whether you're, just a traditional pattern analyst or, of which I don't really consider myself, or, or the bots in the algo is going to be just selling that area by the nature of it. And you can just see that this is kind of like the first area that we saw really have a stutter step on the breakdown from 6,000. So there's likely to be, little people interested right over there. Of course, volume profile also showing a little bit of interest in this area, as you can see. Filling it out just a little bit more, ever so slightly. This is the first time that we've actually even spent any time within the 5,000s, to be fair, as we ripped through it on the way up, we ripped through it on the way down, and once again, we're come back in, we're filling in the gaps, which is actually a very constructive thing from the long period of time, a very long period of time. So this is actually good from a structural standpoint, just, if you're thinking like very long term. And we were having a great discussion in the members Discord earlier, and it's going back to the discussion if the bottom's in or not. I think that fundamentally you can definitely make a strong case for the bottom being in. Technically, it looks to me like we're at a technical top. Does a technical top imply that we're going to make a new low off that, though? No, it doesn't. And again, I'm not saying that this is going to happen today or tomorrow. I think it's going to happen, we're going to put in some time, likely right around here. So overall, assuming that actually does play out, I do want to point out that the 2-day 200 simples coming in right around here, right around that 5,800-ish level. So that would round out kind of the top of this area. I think that tentatively speaking, that would be, my ultimate target for this move. That also means, hey, if Bitcoin does take that area out, very likely move our way deep into the 6,000s. I really don't see too much stopping you from there. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be targeting like 62, 6,300. Yeah, that's fine. But longer term, I would be looking for a move, in there. To me, that would be a breakage of structure overall. So whether you get rejected or not from 63 is kind of irrelevant to me. I would imagine that we do probably, reaccumulate a little bit lower and then try higher over time. So again, that's kind of what I have my mind's eye on. Taking this off once again, and let's actually put on our actual moving averages. Put on the 10 right here. There we go. And there we are. So yeah, when it comes down to it here, that's essentially my thoughts. We got the move. We got our first stab into our, into our territory. I do think that this is going to try to consolidate here and try once again, into this range. Do we make a run to the top of the box? It's all the same to me in this box, right? This box encompassing the area between about 57 and about 58. Also encompassed by our 200 simple on the 2-day digital time frame. This is all an area of interest to me. So if Bitcoin does get in there, that's where I start to think, okay, do I want to try a short position out? Because there is something very, 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 very important to be aware of right now, and that is going on over here into the 3-day digital time frame. Probably what I put the most importance on right here, right now, and that is we have the jewel, the 3-day jewel, once again getting very deep into the red box territory. Now, as you can see in the past, it has called pretty much all. Every time that it does signal red, it calls like a major top. We've gone through it and kind of measured them out before. I'll just briefly do it right now, just very, 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 very fast. But obviously, this area right over here, calling that first move down to about 6,000, so about almost 69% move, not bad. Then we had this area right over here, calling a move down about 34%. Then this move right over, I'm going to skip a few just because it's too much. 33%. You can just, they're all the same. We've done this a million times. 40% move right over here. We got this one right over here, catching the wick. Another 50, almost 50% move, something like that. Calls the lows as well, by the way. And we actually did signal green on our current low. So that would be that would probably be the most technical thing that I could say convinces me of a bottom. My God, I sound like a broken record. I apologize. My stutters is very fucking annoying. It's very embarrassing, and I know that's really fucking annoying for people listening out there as well. 63% move right on this guy right over here. And of course, the time before that was right over here on this guy. And well, we have one more before that. So I know I skipped a few in there, but if you want to see them all done out, go check out the prior video or the prior series of videos because it's all done over there. Anyways, my point is that we are signaling red right over here, which does make me, again, cautious. Now, remember, this is the 3-day digital time frame. So it takes at least 3 days. It takes at least 3 days. It takes exactly fucking 3 days for it to set in one dildo, which means that we can spend a lot of, how much damage can be done in another 2 sessions of that, another 2 periods, which would be basically another week. Well, a lot of damage can be done. So again, I would be a little bit, I would be certainly lenient here and just kind of step back and look for other signals on the lower time frames of any sort of bullish exhaustion happening. Of which I think the most obvious one is just kind of the lackluster volume that we're witnessing in this range. On top of that, there are some very specific things that I look for on the jewel to kind of actually denote the downwards momentum. Again, downwards momentum being the key word, and we'll just go over to this example right over here. This was the high of 20,000 on December 15th. So you see that Bitcoin you see that the jewel has to have a bunch of moving components for it to actually signal a nice downwards move. And first things first, we need to see the light blue oscillator get into the more critical zone above this 80 marker where my cursor currently is. That's tick number 1. Then we need to see it flash red in the background. That is tick number 2. Without those 2 things, the rest does not matter. Then after that, I want to see the light blue oscillator get a negative slope. That is when I do believe that it's appropriate to be entering into positions. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am sharing with you exactly what I'll be doing. And then if you want to be super convicted, I want to see the light blue oscillator get back below this critical zone right over here. So as you can see right now in the current stature of the market, we've only done number 1 and 2, so we haven't done the most important thing. We have not gotten a negative slope on this. And more importantly, if we just scroll back, you can see that the times that it did flash red in the background, the light blue oscillator gets like pretty deep into this territory, actually almost around the 88 or 90ish marker. And right now we are kind of low into it. So that's what does make me think again that we could see this move go a little bit higher, or it's likely to go a little bit higher most likely. This is kind of what I've been saying for the past week. Yes, I am looking for that next big move as 40% 40% downwards move from that area would put us back around, kind of around our prior lows. Again, if we were to kind of move up into the 5,800-ish area, taking about a 35% move to the downside, just again, measuring it out as that was kind of like the median of them, some of them about 60 to 70%, some of them, 30 to 35%. But I'd say about 35% right over here would put us right around 37, which probably would be confluent, to be fair, with the 200 simple on the weekly. And this is what I can really sympathize things down to as a trader. And again, deliberately making a distinction here. As a trader, I don't even really consider new lows until we actually break back down below this purple 200 exponential moving average right over here. That's when I start to consider talking about new lows and maybe taking a trade. Now, the very obvious area where I take trades towards new lows is if we break the white 200 simple moving average right over here. So first things first, got to bust through about 4150, 4200 on the 200 exponential, and then the 200 simple right over here. Oh my God, is it time? Yeah, it's time. Let's see. Ah, man. Some of those fills are just dog shit. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Try some of that. Yeah, I think that's fun. Sorry, just trading some of this forexes over here. Just 1 second as I do take a look-see at this. Man, some of these fills on some of these fills are very bizarre. Anyways, I think that'll do it for that. Okay, cool. Let's see, we might get another position as well. That wouldn't be bad. A little bit of a breakout. Could we get a breakout right now? Let me just check this out. Actually, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's certainly playable. All right, cool. Anyways, back onto the weekly right over here. Yeah. So as a trader, that's essentially what I'm looking for. If we start to break those areas, that's when it starts to become once again appropriate to be talking about new downside targets. Of course, if we break the 200 simple, I'm looking much lower down towards low 2000s, mid to low 2000s, probably maybe even lower than that. But for right now, you can see that we're well above this area. So as a trader, it's just not that appropriate. We also do see that the slope of this yellow 20-minute exponential moving average is aggressively coming up right now. So that is also a relatively good sign. Now here's the thing on the weekly, again, just looking at a higher time frame oscillators, weekly Stokes getting way up there, just again levels that we haven't seen since December 2017. Weekly RSI, usually going to see some defense within this range after a long ways of being away from it. We are also well away from the exponential right over here as well. So that is a little bit concerning, which historically speaking, we don't spend too much, we usually don't spend too far away from that before coming back and retesting it. The last time that comes to mind was right over here. We spent about what, 4 or 5 months away from it, and it's been about since February, and we're in April right now. So yeah, maybe another couple months, and then it starts to be a little bit more of a problem. So yeah, that's what I'd be saying right over there. Anyways, with that in mind, it's just another thing saying, hey, be cautious. Now, here's the thing. On the weekly, while we are here, I do want to show this, and this was another reason why yesterday, not yesterday, but this past prior week, we were kind of saying this is likely to continue on. The Trollinger bands, and this is where I actually do kind of like to use the Trollinger bands. Typically speaking, I'm not a big fan of the Trollinger bands. I don't like them. I don't really use them all that much. But on like strong trending moves like this, it does actually get it quite well. You can see that we have been trending outside the top Trollinger band for the past 4 weeks or so. The last time that we did this was in 2017, right over here. So again, it's been a while, and that is likely to beget some more continuations. Again, as we do make new highs overall, which, well, just by definition would be continuations. Now, here's the thing. On the Trollinger bands, if I did want to be a little bit more a little bit more cautious with them. What am I looking for on the Trollinger bands that would tell me that this move is over? Well, if we actually close below the top Trollinger band, which is actually coming in right around 53.80 by end of week, that to me would also signal another, be confluent with signaling another big downside move. So again, that is something to keep in mind. Does that mean that it happens this week? No, we can spend another week outside of it. It could be another 2 weeks. Just as soon as I see that, that's when I start to get a little bit apprehensive with that. And let me just make sure that's this is good over here. Oh, I think this might be setting up for another trade actually. Let's see, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? I think if I hear the beep one more time, I think I'll get it. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So again, when looking at something like that, as long as we are trending above this top Trollinger band, that is good. That is healthy, and that would likely incite some more continuations. Also, by the same metric, this would likely be confluent with the 3-day jewel if we were to close below the top Trollinger band, and that would be my signal for another massive move to the downside. Massive move is that's a relative term, right? But you know, probably somewhere down around here, right around 44, like mid to low 44s is where I'd be looking towards. So keep that one in mind you know, as we do move forwards here. Of course, this operates on a weekly dildo time frame, so it's going to take some time for it to actually, like, you know, populate itself. Okay, what else do we have? Confluent with, okay, there we go. Yes, let's get in there. Come on, baby. There you go. Awesome. Fucking awesome. Let's see, am I going to get it? I think, yeah, I got it. All right, cool. Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's also another major, another major signal that says, hey, be cautious in this area. And that is, of course, the good old daily MBT signal rearing its ugly head once again. A lot of people have been, you know, going off this because the maker Willy Woo himself said that it can be manipulated and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's probably that, you know, that is true, but that also means that people could have manipulated at any other time in its history. Regardless of that fact, it has been perfect nonetheless. Now it is signaling red, and whenever it signals red, that typically does denote a major top being put in. So what does that mean? Well, that means, again, be cautious in confluence with the 3-day jewel, in confluence with, you know, with looking at the Trollinger bands, in confluence with all of the higher time frames getting, you know, pretty up there, just levels that we haven't seen in a very long time. It's once again another cautionary signal that does not say does not say that we're going to play out some major downside like right this second. No, instead what it says is it says be cautious. As there's, again, you know, a few very specific things that I look for to kind of denote the actual bearish momentum happening on this. So first and foremost, as we kind of backtest this, is I want to see this signal red, but of course can signal red for weeks at a time, as you saw in 2014, or sorry, at the end of 2017 when it was red all the way from 11,500 all the way to about $20,000. So that would have been a terrible trade. On top of that, if you would have just shorted as soon as it got red. But what I'm really looking for is to actually break this orange moving average on this oscillator, as you can see, which happens right around the 17th of December, which was right here at a price point of $19,220. So again, when it comes down to it, are we doing that right here, right now? Actually, no, we are red. But as you can see, it's been red for, well, almost a month now. Almost a month. And we have not ever confirmed below the orange moving average here. Yes, we did get a little bit of a one-off right here, but that is, you know, I need to see a full-on confirmation below, which we did not get. So again, just another thing saying, hey, hold your fucking horses on right here, right now, because this is still, you know, still a little bit left of center. Also saying, you know, if you do see that happen, that's likely when the momentum happens as well. Of course, there are a few other confluent signals that I want to see as well, and just kind of backtesting this once again, going all the way over from here. You know, we want to see it signal red. We want to see the orange. We want to see the orange happen right over here. Ooh, let's see. Hold on. I might be getting filled pretty damn soon. Let's see. Will it happen? Let's see. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You can do it. Let's see, maybe let me actually get this one up right over here. Okay, there we go. Let me actually put an alert just so I know. There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, you know, once those two things happen, then I want to see a very specific set of other things happen as well. Starting off with, and in no particular order, with the daily Stokes. I want to see the daily Stokes cross down, which happens right here on the 17th of December. So it's a more preliminary signal happening right here, a little bit higher, about $400 higher on that high, and getting back below the critical zone right over here at the 80 marker. On top of that, I want to see the daily RSI put in, it doesn't need to put in divergence, although it does here, but it does need to take out this exponential moving average. That is critical. And then also the daily jewel. I need to see the daily jewel above the critical zone right over here, and then get that negative slope that we spoke about. This one also did happen to line up for a perfect sell signal. As I check my other screen, nice. Okay, not bad. There you go. First trade of the day too. You know, it did line up for a perfect sell signal. If you do have access to the jewel, this is what one looks like. Although you don't need to see that happen. I just need to see the jewel get into this area and slope down. Right now, we don't have any of those. I mean, we only have it signaling red right over here. Daily Stokes are up, as we spoke about yesterday and today. Daily RSI back above the exponential, and daily jewel not even in the critical zone. So, you know, it's once again one of those things. Ooh, yes, there you go, you little fucker. Oh man, that makes me happy. You know, it's once again one of those things where, you know, I'm keeping my eyes on it. It does say be cautious here, as typically it doesn't last for too long, but overall, if it does happen, that is, that's likely to be confluent with the 3-day jewel and also all the other tools that we spoke about. I do put more weight on the jewel just because I had personal, I actually had involvement in making it. I didn't, I'm not just using someone else's indicator over there, which I know that there is, there's some discrepancies with the MVT signal. Willy Woo's kind of come out and voice some concerns with it, as well as other people, which are very valid, no doubt about that. But that's why I feel more comfortable using the one that, actually, I can actually verify myself. So, ooh, there we go. Hold on. Come on. There, 1 second. Let me get ready. What is this? 380. 145, 380. Yeah, the hardest thing about fucking Forex is typing in the goddamn numbers. Jesus Christ. Let me put an alert here as well, just so I can be alerted at the appropriate time. Okay, all right, and nice. So yeah, that is what I want to get out. And so lower time frames, yes, do you think that it probably reaccumulates here? Probably does try higher, looking like we're kind of just flagging out right now, and probably does reach for that prior wick, maybe beyond. Anywhere between 57, 58 is kind of where I have my eyes towards. And that's what I imagine that if we are going to see an attack, likely to come from that area. Daily on, if we go check out CMEs likely to take out the 200 exponential today, although it is not being confirmed just yet, and that is the major resistance, as you can see, catching our top 2 wicks right over here and right over here. So assuming, if CMEs can close at 7 p.m. Eastern time above 54.50, that would look very, 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 very nice as well. That also does mean, though, if CMEs do close, if CMEs were to close below by something, ooh, there we go. Am I out? There we go. Okay, cool. Let me just make sure that this is 75, 50. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. Let me just make sure. 48. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Do I want to try it? Do I want to get a little bit more greedy? Yeah. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Awesome. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right over here. And CMEs, if we do see a daily doodle close above the 200 exponential, I would actually expect this 54.50ish area to become, 54.50 to become pretty damn strong support as well. So it could be that Bitcoin spends a lot of time within this area. Keep in mind, this is going to start to really come into conflict, or not conflict, but into confluence with the monthly, right? As we do end the monthly in about a week from today, as it is the 23rd of April. Oh, come on, baby. Come on and film me, you fuck. There you go. Come on. There you go. No. Oh, you bastard. You fucking bastard. Let's see. Can I close you? There we go. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Nice. Safe and Safu. There we go. Yeah, so monthly right over here is going to start to really have implications with price action as well. And this, I would say probably supersedes pretty much everything else I'm about to say. If the monthly, and I'm referring to this chart right over here. Sorry, no shit. What I mean to say, if the monthly closes above the 21 exponential, which is what I forgot to say, which is the yellow moving average right over here, which is what I'm referring to. If we close above that area, I do look for this run to evolve higher and into the 6,000s, maybe even tap 7,000. We can come up with the target in just a second. We'll go over that. Now, by the same token, if we close this monthly dildo below the 21 exponential, this yellow moving average right here at about 52.50, it would likely be confluent with all the bear signals that we looked at and set up for a move back down to the mid to low 4,000s at the very least. So keep that in mind. With that said, this is something that I use in traditional markets to judge if someone was generally bullish, generally bearish. I know I've said this a million times, but it's good to repeat. And of course, you can see that Bitcoin has been respected in the past. This Bitcoin does have about 10 years of history now, which is good enough. And you can see right over here, we do lose the 21 exponential in 2014, 2015. That then becomes the ultimate red dildo capitulation death, sending it all the way over here to its ultimate lows. And you can see that it tested the 21 exponential once, twice, 3 times, 4 times before actually breaking it onwards and upwards to the upside after that. So again, looking at something like this, I want to be very clear in stating that If Bitcoin were to close above that, I do think that we move a lot higher. If Bitcoin closes back below it, well, let's just kind of look at what happened last time, because we have some confluent signals right over here. We have the monthly Stokes, which are actually hinting at across the upside right now. Well, the last time that we did that in this more critical zone was right over here in June 2015. June 2015 was on this dildo right over here, which, as you can see, was pumping up and doing what? Testing the 21 exponential. But that was one of the times that it got rejected, sending it down for a move right over here, about a 32% move to the downside. Doesn't that sound familiar? Very confluent with what we looked at on the 3-day jewel. Well, if we were to have something like that, likely from that area, somewhere right around here, high 3000s, mid to high 3000s. So again, does it ultimately work out for the bulls? Catching some nice upwards momentum after that? Yes, absolutely. But look at this chart and realize that it's a little bit deceiving in the way that's kind of set up, because 30% down move represents this move, this dildo right here to this dildo right here. That is it looks very minuscule on the charts, but 30% move is fucking significant, to put it lightly. So that's kind of what I'm getting at is hey, even if you are looking at it like that, even if you are looking at that as a big bullish signal, I would say it's still preliminary. It's more of a warning shot. We have a lot more confluences with being more, what's it called, more conservative in this area. Also, check out the RSI. The RSI is coming back to test the exponential right over here, the first time since essentially 2017 December. Well, what happened in 2014, 2015, the first time that we came back to test the exponential on this? Albeit, to be fair, a good criticism of this would be it was a little bit too young at that point to kind of really judge it fairly. But overall, we came back on over here, tag this area, and then where was this? July 2015, right at the top of this run, as we tested the yellow 21 exponential, and then another 30% move to the downside. So again, it is saying that we're probably closer rather than not, but still a cautionary signal. And that's what I really want to get out. Caution is the word. So if I can kind of, okay, and let's actually go over, a price target. If the monthly does close above 52.50, then I would start to look at this area as a price target. And to explain this, I need to explain the whole matrix right over here, which each and every one of these dotted trend lines represents a support trend line for a parabolic market cycle. Each and every one in Bitcoin's in Bitcoin's history, starting off with this first one anchored in 2010 and 2011, which was broken in 2012, becomes our parabolic highs in 2013 and 2014 right over here. Then we create another support trend line for the next market cycle in 2011 and 2012 right over here, anchored in both those areas, gets broken in 2015 right over here, and then becomes the parabolic highs of our 2017, 2018 market cycle right over here. Not only that, but we did actually test it kind of along the way after we broke it right around here, sending us back down on a, on about a 25% move to the downside. Now, then after that, we created another support trend line for the past parabolic market cycle right over here, anchored in 2015 and 2016 right over here. That was broken in 2018 November when we broke below the 200 exponential, below 4,000. Very important for long-term trend identification. And where does that come in at the current trajectory for price action? Somewhere around, actually low, high 6,000s, low 7,000, like 68, 6,900. So let's just call it 7,000. Jesus Christ, man. Just stop getting too fucking technical with it. Low 7,000, or let's just call it 7,000. So again, if Bitcoin were to close that monthly above that area, that's kind of where I look towards. I do think that Bitcoin gets probably does, probably does get around that area. And then if we were to take, a 30 to 40% move to the downside from that area, where would that kind of put us at? Actually, a lot more of a healthy area. And it would be a retest. Look at this, a retest of this trend line right over here. So if that were to happen, I would feel a lot more comfortable from a technical analysis standpoint, saying that the bottom is in. We're not going to be going lower than 3,100. Now, does that mean that we can't return back to those? Well, that's a matter of perspective, but back down to 4,000, that's, in my opinion, returning to the lows. So again, it's very important to be a trader in these ranges and be agnostic and not get caught up in the gang mentality. Because if you get caught up in the gang mentality, you're going to hold through a fucking 30% dump if you're long. You're going to hold a short through what could this be, like another 30, 40% pump? It's just bad trading is my point. It's very bad trading. So that's kind of what I want to get out. Let me just make sure. My God, man. Wow. That was a fast little move. Nice. Should I take another position? No, I think I'll wait on that one. I think I'll wait when I have a little bit more little bit more free time to to look at it. The pass trades were pre-planned on that one. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that gets out exactly what I want to say right over there. Let's go check out GBDC. GBDC was kind of our leading yesterday as well. We were looking at this. We said, hey, if GBDC opens up yesterday with stock market, we're probably going to see a leg up. I'd imagine that GBDC probably does make another march towards the 750-ish area right over here. Overall, though, I don't think that GBDC is leading. I do think that GBDC is likely following. It's very sloppy is what it is, and I think that's a testament to the fact that we probably get an ETF we definitely very, 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 very likely get one in the future, but I'd say that means probably in the next year and a half, most likely, as GBDC's kind of use case diminishes with a more, in favor of a more legitimate example. Okay, cool. Let's go check out the other top shitcoins. We spoke about Mrs. Litecoin yesterday, looking for a leg up to, oh my God, $80. And who was that last night? Man, was it TX Admin? Was it TX Admin? Please confirm this, man, because yeah, we were talking about this and I said, yeah, technically speaking, looks like it wants to go down, but personally speaking, I think this one pops up. There you go. Hey, nice little pop up right over here. And to me, this would actually be a nice little setup. Let me actually do this properly and get rid of all these things that are no longer relevant. But basically, what we're doing right now, we found support right along this horizontal. Just keep it simple. And to me, this is going to morph into a consolidation. We probably ultimately make another run towards this area right over here, $85-ish area. And this morphs into its own consolidation. Weekly is the one that makes me a little bit apprehensive on that. Weekly is the one that makes me think that we could very easily have a move back down to $69, but I would be a buyer there. Again, this is not financial advisor, not financial advisor, but overall, lower time frames, I would be looking for this to probably try a little bit higher. Not really strong. I had a strong opinion on it yesterday. I don't really have a strong opinion on it today. But if I had to say something, yeah, I would say it probably does try a little bit higher. Mr. Buterol over here taking a leg up towards our next resistance right around 177, as we spoke about. And well, what do I think about that? I mean, we're just we're kind of actually putting our our own. Jesus, man, that was fast. Should I take that one? Nah. I'll hold off on that one. Yeah. So Mr. Buterol kind of put in its own, its own accumulation pattern right over here. You can see that it's making, what do you want to call this? Do you want to call it an ascending triangle? Do you want to call it some sort of a triangle? I don't care what you call it, but something like this. You see the volume still kind of falling off, so we haven't really seen a break on it just yet. It looks like it's not really following Bitcoin, funnily enough. But if we were to get this next break, I would be targeting a move likely towards this 190. Well, 192 becomes extremely likely, but personally speaking, if we break that area, I do think that it works higher than that, actually, all the way to maybe 210. I got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do overall. Let's go check out Cardano. How's he doing? Are we getting that bounce off 1400? Yes, we are. Actually, we got a little bit lower than 1400 to be fair, but yeah, bouncing off this area, hitting our first resistance right around 1500. Fucking beautifully done, Mr. Cardano. What happens now is the fun part. Let's look at the weekly. I do think that I would hold off on saying anything here. I'd say that the weekly's bearish. Daily could very easily try higher towards 1550, but we are at resistance right now. If it did get to 1550, I'd probably be a seller. Weekly is bearish, however. So longer term, I do not like it. BNB. Same thing here as we said yesterday. Probably wants to come back down, consolidate. Around what is it, like $21.50. Would look good to me. Zcash, what is Zcash doing? Taking a leg up. So I was wrong on this one yesterday. I was bearish on this one yesterday. But, again, going to follow the rest of the market. This is why I always say, hey, when looking at the shitcoins, looking at the great, highly esteemed altcoins, it's just easier to look at Bitcoin and kind of judge it off that. Because if Bitcoin's going to take a leg up, so are these guys. And this is exactly what you see. Resistance right around here. I'd say that this run probably does try a little bit higher towards, what is it, like 72.5 maybe. Bcash, same thing. Taking a leg up towards the next resistance right around 315. This is going to look, what is this going to look like? I'm split on this one. I do think that this one tries higher. Ultimately, I do think that it tries another 335-ish area. But again, going to follow Bitcoin. Tron Cash, what's Tron Cash doing? Weak, but again, the rest of the market wants to bounce up. If this thing, if this thing wants to bounce to 2.6, it will. That's not a very helpful statement. I understand, but okay, what can I say? Yeah, we're probably going to bounce up to 265 or something like that. Neo right at resistance. That'd actually be a seller right around 1130. Don't like the weekly. Daily's okay. We got the move that we were looking on for the daily. The daily could very easily have another leg. Daily I'd be bullish on, looking for another move probably towards 1169. Weekly I'd be a little more bearish on. So short term, a little bit more bullish. Long term, probably looking to be a seller. Same thing for EOS. Short term, probably looking for a move back to 564, maybe even 590 if things get crazy. This one actually looks okay. EOS looks okay. But major resistance in that area. So I do think that I would be defensive in that area, and ultimately I'd like to see this thing retrace back down to 469. Ripple Cash, Ripple me nipples cash. Flip that goddamn switch, Garlic House. We're in trouble. Yeah, again, getting a very lackluster boost with the rest of the market. This is something that we're seeing that's kind of, we haven't seen in a while, where Bitcoin's like looking a little bit bullish and the altcoins are not. Looking very weak is what they're looking like. Yeah, Ripple's not too inspiring right here. If I would say I'd probably be looking for a move towards 33.5 cent. But I'd probably be a seller right around there. Sorry. Make that 34 cent. Make that 34 cent. What about Stellar Cash? Yeah, same thing right over here. Probably looking for a move back up to 12.25. 12.25. Then we'll figure it out from there. Going to follow the rest of the market once again. Check out traditional markets. SPYs. Oh my God, SPYs. Did SPYs close up on the day? They did. They did close up about a quarter on the day. Basically unched, but I'd still be looking for a pullback here. Again, just like we spoke about on Mr. Bitcoin, these moves can take some time. 283.5 would kind of be where I'm looking towards. 282.5 in that dollar range right there. I think that covers it for all them guys. Let's go look at Dixie for a second. What's Dixie looking like? Yeah, still consolidating this area. Overall, long term, I'm bullish on this. But the apex on this triangle is not coming until October. We can spend a lot more time in this. I'd be looking for a break maybe in June. Are kind of hinting at a break. I mean, this is looking good right here, to be fair. The problem is that if dollar goes bullish, I don't think that bodes too well for Bitcoin, actually. So yeah, again, just another cautionary thing from a higher time frame perspective. Anyways, going back on to Mr. Bitcoin over here. Yeah, I do think that we, it looks to me like we do want to, consolidate this area and try higher once again. 5,700-ish, 5,800 is kind of, my tentative target. That's why I start to be a little bit more caution. Maybe consider put on a short. For now, just holding this long and strong. That's all there really is to do. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's going to do it for today. I'll be back on later with some more live stream analysis. And with that said, pleasure speaking with you all. Take care.